Please take your seats. The program will resume momentarily.
If everybody could start taking your seats, we will commence the annual business meeting shortly. Thank you. Once again, especially for those in the back of the room, if you'll start taking your seats, we're about to begin the annual business meeting. Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone joining us through our virtual live streams. Thank you all for tuning in. I hereby call the 2024 Annual Business Meeting of the International Code Council to order. I love doing this. The notice for the 2024 Annual Business Meeting is posted on the Code Council website. At this time, I will entertain a motion to waive the reading of the notice. Motion. It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Secretary Treasurer Mike Boso, will you please come to the podium to determine if we have a quorum?
Thank you, Mr. President. To determine a quorum, would the governmental member voting representatives who are present please stand? Based off the observation of those standing and present, we have a quorum of at least 100 governmental member voting representatives. Mr. President.
Thank you. It is now my privilege to introduce to all of you your board of directors. Board members, please stand and remain standing when I call your name. Audience, please, some people are too anxious. Audience, please hold your applause until all board members have been introduced. First, Vice President David Spencer. Secretary Treasurer Mike Boso. Immediate past President Michael Witch. Directors Jack Applegate, Ben Breadmore, Chris Bridges, Ron Clements, Shirley Ellis, Ron Hampton, J.C. Hutchison, Andre Hayen, Steve McDaniel, Randy Metz, Jose Roig, Jim Sayers, Michael Savage, and Angie Weesey. Here is your 2023-2024 Code Council Board of Directors. Thank you. As may be required to conduct the business of this association today, the Sergeant of Arms and Parliamentarian have been appointed. The next order of business is approval of the minutes from the 2023 annual business meeting. Are there any modifications to the minutes? Hearing none, may I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented? It's been moved. May I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. There being no opposition, so be the order. The next order of business is the Treasurer's report.
As your Secretary and Treasurer, I'm proud to report that the financial health of the International Code Council remains strong. Our success can be attributed to the effective financial management, a commitment to long-term strategic planning, and a carefully crafted diversification strategy, and a proficiency in leveraging technology. In recent years, our financial performance has consistently exceeded expectations, and this year is no exception. As we explore new opportunities for the growth and expansion, we continue to enhance our ability to offer innovative tools and resources to our members. We anticipate the revenue from the sale of goods and services to exceed our budget and operating margin targets once again in 2024. This continued financial success has allowed us to expand member benefits, build upon our cash revenues, and enhance our credentialing and training resources. One of our key financial strategies involves leveraging the advantages of technology to streamline operations, cut costs, and boost overall efficiency. This year, we expanded our member services by introducing new career resources and enhancing our digital codes platform with additional features and content. Our solutions have continuously evolved to better support our members and customers, ensuring our offerings remain innovative and aligned with the industry's changing needs. We've strengthened our conformity assessment services with a comprehensive global suite, and our lab facilities have grown to better serve our customers. Our products and services have been refined to streamline processes and provide advanced tools that empower our members. These improvements not only enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of our members' operations, but contribute to the financial strength of the Code Council. This year, we continued to explore the future of safe and innovative products through collaborations with industry organizations on a global scale. And we have consistently prioritized building safety in our communities and actively promoted the adoption and enforcement of modern codes and standards worldwide. Our mission to provide essential information, tools, and resources that our members rely upon for constructing safe, affordable, and sustainable buildings and communities is at the heart of every decision we make. We continue to be guided by our 2025 strategic plan. This plan and our strong financial position ensures ability for our members, employees, and key stakeholders. Thank you. It has been my honor serving as Secretary-Treasurer.
Thank you, Secretary-Treasurer Boso. May I have a motion to accept the Treasurer's report? It's been moved. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded to accept the report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Thank you, Secretary-Treasurer Boso, for your service this year. The next order of business is the President's report. Over the past year, the Code Council has achieved remarkable successes, driven by our unwavering commitment to advancing building, safety, and innovation. Through collaborative efforts with our dedicated stakeholders, policymakers, and engaged members, we have not only adapted to the ever-changing demands of our industry, but we have also set new standards for excellence. Last year, we initiated the launch of the 2024 I-Codes, and we're now developing the 2027 I-Codes. As part of our ongoing commitment to continued improvement, we've enhanced our procedures to allow for more feedback and collaboration throughout the code development cycle. The successful rollout of the new code development process is largely due to the dedicated efforts of the Code Council staff and the active participation of members and stakeholders like all of you. Our first committee action hearings took place in Orlando this past April, and the second will take place later this week. As always, I invite you to participate in these hearings so that we can continue to improve and develop the most widely used building safety codes throughout the world. Also, this past spring, we hosted our inaugural ICC Leadership Week. This event is free for all ICC members and provides you with opportunities to earn CEUs, engage in industry-leading discussions, and network with your fellow professionals. If you were not able to attend this event this year, I encourage you to mark your calendars for April 2025, when we'll be back in Orlando. And on that note, I also encourage all of our chapter leaders to consider attending our Chapter Leadership Academy in April 2025. This academy is an annual forum where chapter officers build their leadership skills, collaborate with peers, and share best practices for the benefit of their chapters at home. I'd like to share a video today highlighting the event.
It brings all the chapter leaders from across the country together.
Individuals should better themselves, and no better way to do that is to figure out how to be a leader.
You're meeting people from different areas, and building those relationships does really make a difference.
If you're willing to ask the question, if you're willing to ask for help, there is someone in the audience, there is someone in leadership, there is someone from a neighboring chapter that is going to give you a hand.
It's exactly what in leadership I need support in.
If you truly want to grow as a leader and you truly want to have the opportunities, then I believe that you'll get more out of it than you probably put into it.
I feel like I have grown as a person, I have grown as a leader.
Just the smiles, just people who are interested in what I'm doing.
I will enthusiastically be here.
Sure, yeah, I will be there.
Yes, I will be coming next year.
I love the smiles I saw up there because that's really a wonderful event. So for those of you that have given some thought, I encourage you to participate. Now, protecting the copyrights we hold in the codes and standards that we develop is crucial to ensuring that the Code Council can continue to cover the costs associated with creating and publishing codes and resources. This year, we've taken several actions to protect our copyrights, including filing lawsuits against multiple sellers of counterfeit code books in the United States federal court. In addition to safeguarding our copyrights, we continue to protect the Code Council's trademark rights to ensure that all materials that depict our trademarks are of the high quality that the public has come to associate with our organization. This year, we also maintained a focus on expanding our global involvement and the use of our I-codes throughout the world. We partnered with the Hydraulic Consultants Association of Australia, reinforcing our support and commitment to the Oceania region and promoting plumbing initiatives on a global scale. We've begun working with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning in Oman to develop new building codes for the region, focusing on safety, sustainability, and technology innovations. Our participation in the 2024 Buildings and Climate Global Forum in Paris and ongoing workshops in Dubai supports sustainable and resilient building efforts worldwide. And as part of our effort to focus on the effects of water scarcity on the built environment, our team is engaging in key discussions on construction and water reuse in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. It's evident through our discussions with building safety professionals in all of these locations that communities worldwide face common challenges such as increasing natural disasters and housing affordability. At the Code Council, we acknowledge that our world is changing, so we're committed to proactively addressing these emerging risks and developing technologically driven, advanced solutions. As communities around the world struggle with the availability of affordable housing and the construction industry addresses workforce shortages, off-site construction offers promising and powerful solutions. Earlier this year, we partnered with the Modular Building Institute to develop a new standard for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system elements in off-site construction. This standard is part of our 1200 series, designed to address critical issues such as housing affordability and workforce shortages. We also published a new resource which helps to efficiently verify compliance of advanced panelization with existing criteria. I encourage everyone to take a part in the various off-site construction activities that are planned throughout this week. The off-site construction experience includes an insight session on emerging building safety topics, a panel discussion tomorrow on the challenges and opportunities of off-site construction, and a specialized training track. In the face of increasing natural disasters, the Code Council has stood strong and we're ready to help. We are currently working with the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety to create a series of hazard mitigation standards aimed at protecting residential construction. Among these, the newly developed ICC Standard 605 focuses on residential construction in all regions that are susceptible to wildfire. ICC 605 is part of the Code Council's broader initiative to develop a comprehensive set of standards that target various hazards that impact modern residential buildings of up to 3 stories in height. We are committed to researching and implementing best practices and innovative ideas to enhance the resilience of the built environment against all natural disasters, ensuring the safety of communities throughout the world. In September, Cindy Davis, former president of the Code Council Board of Directors, testified before Congress, emphasizing the vital role that building safety code adoption plays in enhancing our community resilience. We have a short clip of her testimony to play for you today.
Last month, Governor Youngkin appointed her to the Virginia Board of Housing and Community Development. I want to thank her for being here, and she certainly brings a wealth of experience and knowledge. Thank you, Ms. Davis.
From the start, ICC has prioritized hazard mitigation in code development. Studies have confirmed that the adoption and implementation of current model codes is one of the best mitigation strategies. The National Institute of Building Sciences estimates that building to recent editions of the I-Code saves $11 for every $1 invested, and FEMA projects $600 billion in cumulative savings by 2060 if all future construction adhered to current I-Codes. Also, research continues to find that these codes have no appreciable implications for housing affordability. No peer-reviewed research has found otherwise, and one analysis found that 30 years of code advancements only increased a home's purchase price by 0.5 percentage point. Up-to-date codes reduce homeowners' net flood insurance costs by at least 5%, while multiple studies have found that current I-Code construction significantly reduced the likelihood of mortgage default following a disaster. For these reasons, FEMA has incentivized and encouraged the use of resilient codes to protect lives and property and to reduce the need for future federal disaster recovery funding. This approach has been consistently bipartisan. It was advanced through the Trump administration's National Mitigation Investment Strategy and continues today.
You all beat me to it. I was going to ask to applaud Cindy for highlighting the adoption and implementation of building codes, but clearly you all recognize that. Thank you. Earlier this month, FEMA issued an interim policy that aims to incentivize mitigation efforts by increasing the federal government's share for rebuilding public infrastructure after a disaster. As FEMA continues to look for innovative ways to expand the adoption, enforcement of hazard-resistant, consensus-based codes across the United States, this policy has the potential to be one of FEMA's most impactful. It recognizes jurisdictions that have undertaken the hard work of keeping up to date with code advancements and provides a strong incentive to sustain those policies and practices while supporting additional jurisdictions in their efforts to strengthen their own codes. The way the interim policy works is by increasing the federal share from 75% to 85%, where the applicant has adopted one of the two most recent editions of the International Building Code and the Commercial International Energy Conservation Code, or ASHRAE 90.1, and at least 20% of the cost of repair or reconstruction enhancement hazard mitigation within the facility. But this policy is far from final. In order for these important resilient code provisions to be kept in and not diluted, we need all of your help. Please take a moment to scan this QR code or visit the link found at iccsafe.org/advocacy if you would like to voice your support for these code incentives. Our board has been diligently working to enhance the Code Council. We've undertaken some outstanding initiatives this year, and I'd like to highlight just a few of those key efforts. Under the chairmanship of Director Steve McDaniel, the Council Policy Review Committee undertook a comprehensive review of several crucial policies that govern our organization. This committee work resulted in an overhaul of our board and member volunteer expense policy to align with industry best practices, a revamped nominations process that emphasizes earlier board member recruitment, and a thorough editorial update across all council policies to see that they are consistent. Following extensive public and stakeholder feedback, the board has also updated the scope and intent of the International Energy Conservation Code and made some important changes to the appeal process. As we'll discuss later, the Bylaws Committee, chaired by Director Randy Metz, has proposed a bylaw change aimed at safeguarding the integrity of your board of directors. These updates are a significant step toward improving the board's functionality, enabling us to lead the Code Council more efficiently. Looking ahead, we will continue to evolve and address the challenges ahead of us with opportunities within our industry. Our commitment to setting new standards, fostering innovation, and enhancing the resilience of the built environment will remain strong both locally and on a global scale. With that, thank you. Is there a motion to accept my president's report? It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to accept my report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Our next order of business is the CEO report. And with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce your Chief Executive Officer, Dominic Sims.
Wow, what a difference 30 years makes. I first want to start off, before I get into my report, by thanking Stuart for his leadership this past year. You know, Stuart, I have found his leadership, his main leadership skills is his ability to deal with the unanticipated. And Stuart, thank you very much. I also want to thank the entire board of directors for their support of the Code Council and the Code Council's mission. Lastly, I would like to ask all the ICC staff to sort of come forward so people could see who you are. And if you have any issues or any questions or comments about this year's conference, look for the folks in the light, I think today's light blue, right? Where's everyone at? Raise your hand. Staff. Yes, 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 yes. They're all back there. They do an incredible job, and I hope you appreciate their hard work. This year is an important year for the Code Council, and I'm thrilled all of you have taken time to celebrate this milestone event with us, recognizing your invaluable contributions to everything that we have been able to accomplish. To start, I'd like to take a moment to thank our generous host chapter, the California Building Officials Association, and Matt Wheeler for his leadership at that organization. I'd also like to thank our sponsors whose work and generosity have made this conference possible. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the Code Council, in case you haven't noticed. And this week, we will take some time to celebrate the progress we've made together. What began as a simple idea has turned into reality, thanks to the unwavering support of our founding strategic industry partners and the dedication of our members. Many of you have been with us since the very beginning, and we owe you a great debt of gratitude. Others are newer to our community, and you will be the ones to carry our mission forward. With over 100 years of impact through our legacy organizations, the Code Council has dedicated itself to advancing safety in the built environment and fostering industry innovation by minimizing regulatory barriers, focusing on building science, and taking the impact of cost into consideration. Earlier this year, the early years of the Code Council were a little rocky. But since its creation on December 9th, 1994, through the present day, the Code Council has made a significant impact on communities worldwide. Our international codes are now used in all 50 states and many countries around the world, laying the foundation for safer buildings, MEP systems, and the safety of human lives. So let me highlight some of the progress we've made this year. We've expanded our professional development opportunities and resources to ensure building safety professionals are well-trained. We launched our Authorized Instructor Credential Program to systematically increase the effectiveness of our training courses. We relaunched our technical training program for high school, technical, and community college students with fully interactive, self-paced courses. We launched a completely updated When Disaster Strikes Institute, including a new option for chapters to license the material for local instructors. As mentioned, a 3-day Train the Trainer event will follow our conference this week. We also relaunched a completely reimagined ICC Learned Live Weekly online training series offering approximately 72 hours of continuing education throughout the year with weekly 1.5-hour segments. Now, shifting to certification and testing, in 2023, I attended a long listening session in Orlando about some of the challenges members were having with Pronto, our online testing platform. We listened to you, and we continue to improve our platform based on your feedback. This year, we've expanded our certification options for exam takers. You now have the choice of taking a Pronto exam in person at a test center, as well as online at your own convenience. You know, certification testing is always a challenge because of the pressure and demands surrounding test taking, and we understand that. The Code Council is committed to continually improvements on our platform. So I ask you, if you have suggestions about how we can improve our test program while maintaining the program's integrity and high standards, please let us know. Here's just another QR code that we'd like you to participate in to share your ideas with us. You know, we have issued over 500,000 credentials through our certification program. It's the most rigorous and recognized credential for building safety professionals worldwide. I'd like to take a moment now to acknowledge all those who have achieved ICC certification, especially those 58 individuals who have achieved Master Code Professionals this year. Let's give them a round of applause. That's not an easy accomplishment. The Code Council offers multiple pathways for developing consensus-based codes and standards that serve both the industry and regulators. Depending on the subject matter, we create codes through our governmental consensus process in alignment with OMB guidelines, develop standards through a process accredited by ANSI and other countries around the world, and we have a guideline process, pre-standards, to quickly respond to urgent needs. This year, we successfully completed the 2024 code development cycle and published the new edition of the ICC family of codes. These codes are consistent, coordinated, and incorporate references to over 300 standards from leading standards development organizations in their respective fields. Our standards portfolio continues to grow and fill gaps in emerging areas for manufacturers, installers, builders, designers, and code officials. The Code Council has developed or co-developed more than 20 standards, and there are over 18 in the pipeline on a wide range of issues from plumbing, mechanical, wildfires, 3D printed concrete walls, accessibility, and recently the Code Council was awarded a $1 million grant to advance safety, professional qualifications, and the use of hydrogen as part of the U.S. Clean Hydrogen Strategy. This achievement is thanks in large part to Mark Faisal. Where's Mark at? Can't miss him, he's a big guy. Thank you, Mark. Mark is director of our PMG Technical Resources at the Code Council. To support the industry in delivering construction products more efficiently and to help building safety professionals ensure safety, we continue to grow our ICC ES and IAS programs, which are both now offering a range of services globally. ICC ES is now able to provide accredited listing and certification in the Americas, Asia Pacific, and NEMA regions with accredited labs around the world. IAS continues its steady rate of growth. In fact, 2/3 of all its activities come from outside the U.S., and they are the laboratory accreditor of choice for California's environmental programs. Finally, on IAS, we have launched accreditation for standards developing organizations in accordance with AC 803, based on recognized standardization development procedures in order to give SDOs a competitive choice. The Code Council is expanding in other areas as well and has made a strong commitment to enhance our digital footprint. We've invested millions of dollars into ensuring Code Council's products are accessible in multiple digital formats and on any device. Our current focus is on enhancing services, and you will now see innovative ways to access ICC member benefits, along with tools designed to help you apply codes and standards in the important work that you do. Some of these advancements include our ICC AI Navigator to answer technical questions, ICC Premium Answers for expert advice, a digital codes plugin for CAD and BIM platforms, and last, a new ICC community, a LinkedIn-style app to help members connect. To further support your success, this year we've also launched an exclusive member-only library. This resource hub features expertly crafted papers, reports, references, and other tools designed to help you excel in your careers. You can access it now at your My ICC portal. And while you're there, check out our new ICC member transcript summary that summarizes your most important Code Council accomplishments. As we celebrate the past, it's important to understand where we stand and look to the future. This year, we've achieved remarkable progress in helping building safety professionals and the industry build better, safer, and more effectively. With any worthwhile endeavor, it takes resources to sustain the effort. The Code Council's strong financial position has enabled us to expand our offerings and services and enhance your ability to better serve you and our mission. This past year, we've achieved record financial growth by leveraging our merger and acquisition strategy and expanding our partnerships to promote the exchange of best practices and innovative ideas. At the Code Council, we have really ramped up our communication skills with members and stakeholders. I'd like to give a special shout out to Bo Hansen, the Deputy Building Official from the city of Beaumont, Texas, who took the lead on as our new host of the ICC Pulse podcast this year. And I think Bo actually may be here. Bo, are you here? There he is. Thank you, Bo. Appreciate that. We partner with a lot of organizations, and this year we partnered with Women in Plumbing and Piping to collaboratively promote opportunities for women to pursue successful careers in the plumbing industry. And we collaborated with Pfister Faucets, this was the one I'm really excited about, to bring you season 5 of their docuseries, American Plumber Stories. This series celebrates plumbers' lives and work and shares their passion, advice for the future generations, and efforts to innovate within the industry. Season 5 features perspectives from plumbers across the globe, including Australia, Alaska, Canada, Hawaii, and more. Let's take a quick look at a video clip. What do you say?
Welcome to season 5 of American Plumber Stories. What a journey this has been. As we continue to inspire, educate, and entertain, we're bringing you some of the best stories yet. I'm Craig Morgan, and this is American Plumber Stories.
Some days I'm working before the sun kisses the sky. I watch the world wake up from the seat of my truck. I'm out here earning my piece of the pie. A good honest buck, no it ain't love. I was taught to do the things I do so I don't depend on anyone. I work hard enough through the year so I play whenever I want. I have more than I deserve, including a wife who says I'm hot. Yeah, it's better than a good life that I got.
This year on American Plumber Stories, we're going international, from Australia to Canada. And what we learned is the things that we're experiencing here in the United States of America, when it comes to plumbers, these same things are being experienced around the world.
In Australia, it's pretty similar to the US. A lot of people in high school looking at different career options really just fall back to university and college as a pathway forward. Not a lot of people think about plumbing as a career or even the trades. It's usually like a fallback. And we thought what better way to showcase how exciting a career in plumbing could be than to partner up with American Plumber Stories and showcase some of the local talent here and how adventurous and fun it can be.
I regard myself as a remote plumbing specialist. Well, I enjoy plumbing, I really love plumbing, but when you're able to go to these amazing places and work and see what we see, it just makes it even better. The places I've been over the years where you had to travel by plane to some of these places, I've gained so much knowledge and experience.
I like that. I hope you do too. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge a few key individuals who played a significant role in the success of season 5. Tom Roberts, who you saw in our video, and Martin Port, who are both here with us this week. We're also honored to have a special guest with us today, all the way from New Zealand, Ross Wakefield, Senior Plumbing and Hydraulic Services Engineer for the Ministry of Business, Innovation, and Employment. Thank you for being here. I encourage you all to watch season 5 on YouTube and pick up some exclusive, this is a shameless plug, some exclusive ICC APS merchandise at our resource center this week. Sorry about that. This year, we worked with communities across the U.S. to help secure millions of dollars in grants to help them adopt and implement codes. We also successfully secured funding from the Environmental Protection Agency to work with Oregon and Washington to advance implementation of Environmental Product Declaration, leveraging our ICC-ES capabilities. There is so much to see at this year's conference, and I want to encourage you to visit our 30th anniversary exhibit to see all that you have accomplished. We have a great lineup of insight sessions starting today at 12:45. These sessions cover some engaging topics, including an opportunity to hear from some of our past presiding officers about the history of the organization. On Tuesday, in the Terrace Theater, we will be welcoming keynote speaker Victoria Arlen, ESPN host, motivational speaker, Paralympic gold medalist, and author, who will inspire us with her incredible recovery journey that includes becoming a Paralympic champion, encouraging us all to aim higher and conquer our challenges. Now I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank all of you for your tireless efforts to keep our community safe every day. The Code Council would not be where we are today, nor would we have achieved so much in the past 30 years without your dedication. The Code Council members in both the public and private sector are essential in promoting our mission to create safe, sustainable, and resilient communities. With your support, we can continue to educate and provide resources to those who need them. And we understand that you've had to invest even more effort and time into addressing the significant challenges facing our world today. Considering issues such as increased natural disasters, housing affordability, and increased demand for skilled workers, the role of building safety professionals like you has never been more vital. To help support the next generation, we are continuing to collaborate with Construct Reach in our combined efforts to diversify and empower the construction industry. By partnering with Construct Reach, we aim to transform the construction industry by linking diverse young professionals with sustainable career opportunities. This will help fill the pipeline with qualified candidates for contractors and pave the way for a brighter future. And we need dedicated professionals like you to mentor and lead those who are just entering the field. And please remember, you don't have to do it alone. The Code Council is here to help support you every step of the way by providing the resources that you need. Later this year, we will be unveiling a new state-of-the-art industry report shaped directly by your insights. I encourage everyone to take part in our State of the Building Industry survey. Through this survey, we hope to gain a deeper understanding of the industry and the specific needs of professionals like you. You can access the survey by another QR code, which is displayed behind me. We're getting close to the end. For the career-minded, don't miss out on our career zone, both at the Expo. This booth offers building safety professionals a resume clinic to enhance your CV and a job career center to advise on opportunities within the Code Council. Also in our career zone, be sure to take advantage of the Professional Headshot Cafe, which will be there until 7 p.m. tonight. Our chapters are contributing to the safety and well-being of their communities in unique ways every day. I'd like to welcome the newest ICC chapters, the Permit Tech Association of Connecticut, Maui Code Enforcement Chapter, Native American Code Officials Chapter, special thanks to Jack and Andy and Shirley, the Eastern Building Officials Association, and Women in Code Enforcement and Development of California. With these new additions, we now have a total of 410 chapters worldwide. The Code Council chapters across the country have made a lasting impact on their local communities. To display just a few of them, let's take a look at this short video.
International Code Council chapters throughout the country are making significant impacts in their communities, especially with our youth. Now, we'd like to spotlight a few of them. The Rhode Island Building Officials Association's Tools for the Trade is an outgrowth of the Code Council's technical training program. Tools for the Trade provides several high school students with $500 worth of tools to kickstart their career in the industry.
I always felt that the kids that in high school that went into the construction trades were never given the attention that those wanting to go on to college were given. So this was one additional way in which we could promote them to go into the trades.
It was definitely a great incentive for us as students to want to do the program and want to do well in the program. And then, yeah, some of those tools I use every day, so it was great.
You're gonna have to come with your basic tools to go work for somebody. So that's gonna probably alleviate a lot of, their upfront purchases that they might not have the money for.
Raboa has given away $125,000 worth of tools since the program's inception.
Having the support, their scholarship programs, and giving the tools out shows great community support.
Both of my sons went through the program. I felt an obligation to give back, and every year I'm able to do this is a reward for me. It really hits home to be able to give back to these kids.
The Building Inspectors Association of Nassau County is also helping children in multiple ways. This year, they made their annual contribution to Toys for Tots and donated $25,000 to Champion of Choices, headlined by former WWE wrestler Mark Marrow.
He's about anti-bullying, suicide, drugs, depression. He's #1 speaker in the country when it comes to all of that.
Love is just a word until somebody comes along and gives it meaning. You.
Life safety issues mean everything to us. Everything is about life safety in the building inspector world. And I correlate it because he's out there saving lives in a different aspect.
With help from the funds collected by Bianco, Marrow has spoken at every school in Nassau County, New York.
We want to make a difference, and we try really hard to make it where we stand out.
For Wicked of Texas, it's never too soon to start teaching kids about building safety.
We created this program to take elementary age students and give them the basics of the structure of a residential home.
Those basics were taught to over 75 kids by having them design and build butterfly boxes.
Just understanding why is your house stronger than mine? And so they're use the paint to make it stick harder, or they would help each other just holding it together. And so it was pretty fun. I think they had fun.
It was a form of accomplishment.
Yes, it was.
When they were done.
They loved what they had done, they understood what they had done, and they took pride in it.
The program also made these Austin, Texas code officials a little more recognizable.
She said, yeah, and you're the butterfly lady. So it makes you feel good to know that you've made some type of impact.
Does your chapter make an impact? The Code Council wants to know. Tell us what you're doing to better your community by emailing us at communications@iccsafe.org.
I can't tell you how important it is to tell your story, and ICC is here to help amplify your stories. That was great. I encourage you all to continue to network and collaborate with your peers and colleagues. By sharing your ideas and working together, we could drive the industry forward and expand our collective expertise. At this time, I would like to ask President Stuart Tom to come back to the stage.
Thank you, Dominic. A lot of information in that report. So is there a motion to accept the CEO report? It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to accept the 2024 CEO report. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting Dominic's report, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? If so, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Thank you, Dominic. Our next order of business is the report of the Awards and Honorary Members Committee. For that, please welcome Committee Chair, Director Angie Wiese.
Thank you, Mr. President. Serving with me on the Awards and Honorary Members Committee are Directors Chris Bridges, Ron Clements, and Shirley Ellis. Each year, the Code Council recognizes outstanding service, dedication, and accomplishments through our awards program. This year's recipients have made significant contributions to their communities through dedicated involvement and service. Committee recommendations for these awards are approved by the Board of Directors and presented at events throughout the year, including the annual conference. The Awards and Honorary Member Committee is pleased to announce the 2024 award winners. Please hold your applause until all recipients have been announced. The Chapter Merit Award recipients are the Southern Nevada Chapter and the Code Administrators Association of Kentucky. The Region Spotlight Award recipient is ICC Midwest Region 5. The 2024 W. Scott Kopp Chapter Leadership Award recipients are Don Neal and Cindy Summers. The Chapter of the Year Award goes to the Women in Code Enforcement and Development of Virginia. The National Leadership in Sustainability and Energy Efficiency Award recipient is Hope Medina. This year's PMG Leadership Award recipient is Kenneth Gregory. The Robert W. Gain Fire Prevention Leadership Award recipient is Coy Porter. The Educator of the Year is Matthew Hunter. The Innovation in Code Administration Award recipient is Art Dahlberg and the City of Cincinnati Building Department. The 2024 Global Award goes to the Bureau of Standards, Jamaica. Community Service Award recipient is Robert Davidson. The Meritorious Service Award recipient is Chip Dents. The Excellence in Public Safety Award recipient is Serena Locke. This year's Raising the Profile Award goes to Pete Roquet. The Trailblazer Award recipient is Van Tren. This year's Gerald H. Jones Code Official of the Year is Michael Shannon. And this year's Bobby J. Fowler Award recipient is John Terry. Please join me in a round of applause for all our award winners. As we celebrate our 30th anniversary, we want to pay special tribute to our honorary members. These individuals have demonstrated exceptional dedication to our mission, contributing significantly to the advancement of building safety. Honoring their outstanding service and lasting impact is not only a reflection of their remarkable careers, but also a testament to the strength and vision of our organization. Scrolling on the screen behind me is a list of our honorary members. Please join me in a round of applause for their service and dedication to building safety. Now for the 2024 nominees for honorary membership. Nominees for honorary membership have rendered outstanding service to the International Code Council. The Board of Directors moves the following 2024 slate of nominees for honorary membership: Thomas Allen, Alan Boswell, Thomas Peterson, Stuart Tom, and Carl Wren. Mr. President.
Thank you, Director Weesey. May I have a motion to accept the awards and honorary member committee report? It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order of the membership. Thank you very much. Will the new honorary members please stand and be recognized? Congratulations to our honorary members and 2024 award recipients. Chair Weesey and all members of the Awards and Honorary Member Committee, thank you for your service. I now call John Belsick, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer, to the podium to explain the procedures for using the voting devices, because it's that time of the program.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. This demonstration will ensure that you understand how to use the voting system. During the demonstration, we will keep each step open longer to make sure you can follow along. Before each vote, you can wake up the device by pressing the circle button on the front. You will automatically be taken to the voting application. You should have been logged in by ICC staff when you received your voting device. If you are not logged in at this time, or if you need help at any time, you can log in by scanning your ID badge or raise your hand, and one of our staff in the blue ICC staff shirts will come to assist. ICC staff, please raise your hand, identify yourselves. Thank you. Let's do a test question to introduce you to the voting system process. If your device is asleep, you can wake it up by pressing the circle button at the bottom of the device. Next, can we please announce the test question? The Long Beach Grand Prix began in 1975. It has changed its name a number of times over the course of its history, but it is the longest running street race in North America. Which driver has won the race the most times? Jackie Stewart, Mario Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, or Al Unser Jr. You should see the question in orange on your device along with grayed out options, just as you see it on the screens in the room. If you do not see the question in orange on your device currently, please find an IT staff member for some assistance. We will now start the vote. It will be open for 30 seconds. The header should now be green, and the countdown timer should have started. Tap the option you want and make sure the button turns green. You may change your vote while the header is still green, and the vote timer is counting down. Raise your hand if you're having any difficulty or find a staff member, and we'll wait for the timer to expire. And it has. You will no longer be able to change your vote. You will see that the buttons are now gray. Now let's announce the results of the poll. The correct answer is D, Al Unser Jr., who won the race 6 times. I got you another time. You should see the number of votes and the percentages on your device, as well as the screens in the front of the room. You should be able to tell which option you selected. If there are any questions, please find an IT staff member in the blue shirts to help you. If you have any further questions about the system, please feel free to stop by the voting system help desk or talk to one of our IT staff at any time. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, John. At this time, I call on our tally judges to come forward. Our next order of business is the report of the Resolutions Committee chaired by Director Jack Applegate. Director Applegate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Serving with me on the Resolutions Committee are Directors Ron Clements and Chris Bridges. Thank you for your service. To present this year's resolutions, please welcome Director Chris Bridges to the stage. Chris has shown exceptional dedication throughout his service on the Code Council Board of Directors, recently completing his 2nd consecutive 3-year term. Today, we honor his contributions by giving him the opportunity to address all of you. Director Bridges, will you please join me on the stage?
Thank you, Jack. This year, 7 resolutions have been submitted by the Resolutions Committee for consideration by the membership. In addition to the 5 resolutions required by council policy, the Resolutions Committee is recommending membership approval of 2 unique resolutions this year. The first has been developed and submitted by the Resolutions Committee and pays homage to the Code Council's 30-year anniversary and the impressive contributions of Dominic in his role as Chief Executive Officer. The second was submitted by a group of members and requests the board to establish a task force to evaluate the makeup of the Code Council Board of Directors. Both of these resolutions have the unanimous support of the Resolutions Committee. Now, the Resolutions Committee moves approval of the following 7 resolutions. Resolution 2024-1, concerning the conference site. Resolution 2024-2, concerning deceased members and colleagues. Resolution 2024-3, concerning the committees and council and the annual conference committee. Resolution 2024-4, concerning the immediate past president. Resolution 2024-5, concerning the retired members. Resolution 2024-6, concerning the 30th anniversary of the International Code Council. And Resolution 2024-7, concerning the composition of the International Code Council Board of Directors. Now let us pay tribute to the memory of our departed members as part of Resolution 2024-2. The names of the resolution are being displayed on the screens in front of you. If you are aware of other members who have passed in this last year, please come forward to one of the 2 microphones and provide the name and the jurisdiction of the departed member.
Director Bridges, I see the name of the individual I was going to propose added, so thank you.
Scott McCool, Memphis, Shelby County, town of Collierville.
Sherry Logan, Howard County, Maryland. Richard Nelson, Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Ken Hall, Wallowa County, Oregon.
Ed Donnelly, City and County of San Francisco.
Dwayne Grace, Moose Lake, Minnesota.
Randy Pruitt, Richland County, South Carolina.
Richard Guzzi, Westbrook, Maine. Bruce Enger, Woolwich, Maine.
Chief Doug Williams, Sonoma County.
Lonnie Lagle, Indiana Department of Homeland Security.
Thank you. Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. And thank you to Director Applegate for allowing me the privilege to present the resolutions here today. It's been a true honor to serve on the board, and every one of these board members works hard to support the mission of the Code Council, and I've greatly appreciated the opportunity to work amongst them.
Thank you, Director Bridges, for your years of service to the Code Council. That concludes the resolutions report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Directors Applegate and Bridges. I will now entertain a motion to approve resolutions 2024-1, 2024-2, 2024-3, 2024-4, and 2024-5. It's been moved. Is there a second? Resolutions 1 through 5 have been moved and seconded for approval. Is there any discussion? Did I see a hand for discussion? If you have discussion on any of these, please use one of the microphones.
If you turn it on, I will. I'd like to.
Go ahead, Greg. It's on.
It's a little hot. I'd like to speak in opposition to the creation of a committee to study the composition of the board of directors. The public purpose, or the purpose of this organization, is to relieve the burden of government. That's what it says in the bylaws. And the people who best understand what the burdens of government are the people who are employed by government. There is no expertise that this company needs that they cannot hire.
Point of order, Greg. We are only taking resolutions 1 through 5. The resolution that you're referring to, we will take up separately. You will have an opportunity.
I'll come back.
You can come back.
All right.
Thank you. Once again, we are dispensing with resolutions 2024 1 through 5 only at this time. We anticipated potential discussion on resolutions 6 and 7. We will be taking those individually afterward. So at this point, once again, it's been moved and seconded to adopt resolutions 2024-1 through 5. Is there any discussion on those resolutions only? Seeing no discussion, I will entertain a motion for approval of resolutions 2024-1 through 5. To be clear, 1 through 5. May I have that motion again? It's been moved again for 1 through 5. Let's confirm the second. The second has been confirmed. All those in favor of approval of resolutions 2024-1 through -5 signify by saying aye. Any opposition? Same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. I will now entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-6, commemorating the 30th anniversary of ICC. It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 2024-6, commemorating the 30th anniversary of ICC. For that resolution, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of this resolution signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. There being no opposition, that resolution is also approved. At this time, I will now entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2024-7 concerning the composition of the International Code Council Board of Directors. Is there a motion for approval? It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. At this time, is there any discussion? Go ahead, Greg.
Greg Johnson, Building Inspector, City of St. Paul, retired. I'm speaking in opposition to investigating whether or not the composition of the Board of Directors should be changed. This company's performed very well for 30 years with government officials constituting the directors of this organization. I don't understand what we think we're going to obtain by opening it up to slots from other organizations or other interests. I mean, anybody who was in the room this morning for the panel discussion understands that if you want the home builders' input, the CEO will come. Same with AIA, same with the Chief Operating Officer of BOMA. It's not that these interests do not have access to the International Code Council. They always have and they always will. But if the purpose of the organization is to relieve the burden of government, the people who are making decisions about this organization should reflect the government perspective. The strongest thing that this organization has had going for it from the beginning is that it's controlled by people who have no financial interest in the content of the codes. And that's the way it should always be.
Thank you. Before we proceed further, and I hate to have to do this, but in the interest of efficiency, may I please have those speaking in support of the proposal assemble to the left of the stage? And may I please have those speaking in opposition to the proposal assemble to the right of the stage? While everybody is jockeying to the right ones, and I will repeat that, I will go over the procedures because we are bound by the regulations for resolution approval. So once again, those speaking in support of this proposal, please assemble to the left of the stage, and those speaking in opposition, please assemble to the right of the stage. Each speaker is allowed a maximum of 1 minute because each side is allowed a total of 10 minutes. We will begin with speakers. We were out of order because Greg's comments were in opposition, but I will start with speakers in support of the resolution. First speaker.
My name is Irene Knott. I'm the Director of Code Services for BRR Architecture. I've been a member of ICC for over 20 years as both a voting representative of a governmental member and as a non-voting individual member. In my 30-plus years in code development, I've watched ICC evolve from its infancy to the multi-million-dollar company it is today. When ICC was first created, its primary function was to develop codes, so it made sense at the time to have only governmental representatives serving on the board of directors. While development of the International Code remains one of our core functions, ICC has grown significantly in breadth and depth into a family of solutions, providing a full range of products and services related to the built environment, engaging a greatly expanded variety of customers and stakeholders across the country. As with every organization, the Code Council should be continually evaluating itself to verify it as providing the best leadership structure and recruiting the most talented and experienced leaders to ensure the continued growth of our evolving association. I'm probably at a minute, so I'll stop right there.
Your time is up exactly, Irene. That was awesome. Next.
Good morning. My name's Dan Nichols, represent the Firefighters Association of the state of New York. We agree in the concept of taking a look at the composition of the board of directors due to the last growth of 30 years of ICC. This topic has come forward multiple times to this membership with a direct solution to what to do with the boards. Let's do sections, let's do regions instead of sections, let's talk about non-member appointees to the board of directors. But nobody's actually asked, is there a problem? Or maybe there's not a problem at all, just a better way to do it. So having a task group that's transparent, open, and member involved will finally answer this question once and for all. Does our board best reflect the expanded growth and services that our organization provides? Thank you.
Good morning, members. My name is Cindy Davis. I am past president of the International Code Council and retired deputy director from the state of Virginia. I'm here speaking on my own behalf, and I'm reflecting on my time spent on the board, and I'm reflecting on reports that have been given to the board on suggestions from experts on board service, that, suggestions from staff, and the fact that the board has taken no action on some of those suggestions that were made. I did some research and found that some of our other member organizations, such as NFPA, just elected a member from the UAE and the U.S. Fire Administration. They have a standing committee for governance and nominations. They require the nominating committee's report to be filed at least 90 days prior.
Thank you, Cindy. As a moderator, I hate to have to do this to you, but your time is up.
Thank you. I urge support.
Cash Chevy, retired Director of Code Enforcement for the City of Lexington, Kentucky, and former ICC board member. With all due respect to the idea of the resolution, it's incumbent in the Vision 2025 statement that the board is put on their list to look at its governance. I simply affirm that the idea that the board should follow through on the mission statement in the strategic plan.
David Biles, City of Lenexa, Kansas, past president of Region 4 and the Metro chapter in Kansas City. I'm not sure where ICC as an organization is headed in the next 20 years. I don't know if any of us can accurately predict with how quickly the world construction technology and the built environment are evolving, but I remember hearing from one of my elders that the train is leaving the station and it's up to be on board or not. We've all seen lots of changes at ICC. Our chapters, our regions, our employers throughout our careers, our professional continue to change and keep up on this to stay ahead. I believe ICC needs to have visionary leadership. While we have a good start, I believe it's time to take the big picture and take an opportunity to evaluate if there are ways we can better plan for the future and while gleaning the experience and knowledge of our past. I've been blessed to attend code hearings in the ABM while becoming familiar with many of the peers in the profession, both in government departments as well as in the private sector. Many have transitioned from the public to the private side, and there is a lot of knowledge and experience that ICC could utilize.
Thank you, David. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Ed Lasinski, I'm one of the co-authors of this with Irene and Scott Holm. I guess, you know, with some of the opposition here, I can't think of a topic that we wouldn't even want to discuss. You know, why are we afraid to even have this conversation? Why would we, you know, not want to put together a board just to explore this a little bit further? Also, to some of the people who may think that the current structure of the board is exactly perfect, then you should be in favor of this then, because we're going to put together an independent panel, and they're going to come back and say, yes, the board structure is exactly what you need right now. So this is going to justify your thoughts if that is true. So again, we're at the 30th anniversary here. The board got us to here and did a fantastic job with it. Where do we want this board to be in another 30 years from now? And I think
Thank
now
you,
is
Ed.
when we need to make that decision. Thank you.
Hi, Kurt Barris, MA Design. I'm a principal, master plans examiner, and certified building official. I apologize if I sound nervous. I don't speak often in front of groups. I want to say that, the board has done a wonderful job for the last 30 years. My concern, as a plans examiner and building official, I can't vote here. I can't be on this board. I work for a company. My company is privileged enough to let me be here amongst you, to learn, to listen, and provide my guidance. But I can't represent the municipalities that I do plan reviews for or act as a building official for, and look for and hope that by changing or reviewing these guidelines, we can get access to those like myself who can now represent these municipalities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Scott Holm. I'm co-author with Irene and Ed. One of the things that really got me interested in this proposal was I served on the Minnesota Association of the Long Board. Basically, we regulate the architects, engineers, land surveyors, interior designers. I was a public member there, and just the collaboration that we had as building officials to be on that board really created my mind to explore this opportunity and bring in other ideas into this organization. It's only going to help us in the long run.
Thank you. There's a short amount of time remaining. Is there anyone else in favor? Okay, seeing none. At this time, we will now hear from speakers in opposition to Resolution 2024-7.
Mr. Chairman, Adolf Zubia, I also was past president of this organization, and let me just tell you, I've heard this argument for close to 30 years. It was part of our discussion when I was on the board, and I can tell you that I have some serious concerns with where we're at now. Simply stated, this board, past boards have done such a fantastic job. The 30 years of growth have been outstanding. Why change? It isn't broken. Let's continue with what we're doing. I take great pleasure in others wanting to be part of that board, but this group has the resources to fund, to hire whomever they need to get the job done if they think they need outside expertise. And I'm going to tell you, I was part of the board when our strategic members weren't necessarily aligned with what we were doing. I have concerns bringing other people that have other financial concerns that aren't aligned with ICC. So with that, I suggest you vote in opposition. Thank you.
Ann Von Weller, past president of ICC. I concur with exactly what Greg has said and what Adolf has said. The original plan and the first line in our purpose of being an organization is to reduce the burden of government. I strongly believe the people who have served on the board are open-minded, will consider other options, and work in the best interest of the public and their jurisdictions, and I see no need to change what has worked so well for so long.
Hello, Mr. Chair. I echo what my colleagues said, and also three other reasons. One, I wish there was discussions with the jurisdictions, for example, like the big ones, City of LA and the county about this. And second, there is an inherent conflict when you bring in non-governmental members on the board. So that's the reason, and other reasons that were already spoken, that we oppose this. And thank you.
Excuse me, there is still remaining time if anyone in opposition would like to speak.
I don't know if I can get up. Ron Lynn, just a has-been. You know, we explored all these options when I was on the board. I believe we need to step back and allow the organization to grow and explore itself. We're doing well financially. We're doing well with regard to our interaction with our peers and with these organizations. I do not believe that this is a time to throw a monkey wrench into something that is actually working better than most things in the council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Anyone else? Okay, this concludes public testimony for Resolution 2024-7. I will remind everybody that the motion is for approval of Resolution 2024-7 because we will now proceed with voting on that resolution using your voting device. When the vote header on your voting device turns green, you will have 30 seconds to make your selection. I will remind everybody because whenever we vote for code change proposals and everything else, people are confused as to what they are voting on. The motion on the floor is for approval. So therefore, if you are in favor, you will vote for this approval. If you are opposed, you will vote against this proposal. You may now begin voting. Voting has ended. May we have the results? The resolution fails. The next order of business is the consideration of proposed amendments to the Code Council bylaws and the Certificate of Incorporation. For this order of business, I welcome Director Randy Metz, Chair of the Bylaws Committee, to the podium. Director Metz, will you approach?
Thank you, Mr. President. Serving with me on the Bylaws Committee are Directors Jack Applegate, Benjamin Breadmore, Shirley Ellis, and Steve McDaniel. This year, the Bylaws Committee took under consideration the concept of removing a director from the Code Council board for cause. After thorough discussion with the committee and board members and lengthy consultation with the Code Council's internal and external legal counsel, the Bylaws Committee recommended to the Board of Directors propose Amendment 2024-1 for Code Council membership consideration. This amendment grants the Code Council Board of Directors the authority to remove a director for cause upon a 5/6 majority vote, and further provides that a director who has been declared to be of unsound mind by a court will automatically be removed from their position on the board. The amendment allowing for a removal of a director for cause is being proposed to authorize the board to take swift action in limited circumstances where there is widespread agreement among the board that a director's conduct has harmed or has the potential to harm the corporation or its reputation. Under Delaware law, the authority to remove directors for cause may only be granted with an organization's certificate of incorporation. Additionally, the proposed amendment making a person declared of unsound mind ineligible for board service is proposed in the case of an accident or illness that makes it impossible for a director to fulfill their duties. These proposed amendments provide the organization with the ability to act quickly in a rare and challenging circumstance. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Metz. So for the next order of business, in accordance with the Article 18 of the bylaws, a proposal to amend the ICC bylaws and the Certificate of Incorporation was properly submitted by resolution of the ICC Board of Directors and is being referred to as Amendment 2024-1. This proposed amendment is included within the 2024 Annual Business Meeting Notice, which is posted on the annual conference website. Additionally, printed copies of the proposed amendment are available now at the tables in the back of the room. Please be advised that the ICC Board of Directors does recommend approval of this proposed amendment. In accordance with Section 18.2 of the bylaws, the proposed amendment requires a 2/3 vote of eligible voters present today to pass, after which it would advance to a ballot of all governmental member voting representatives and honorary members. May I have a motion to approve Amendment 2024-1 to the ICC bylaws and the Certificate of Incorporation? It's been moved. Is there a second for approval? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? There is discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Chair.
Fuad, hold on.
Sure.
I'm running this meeting.
I know you are.
I will now open the floor to public testimony on proposed amendment 2024-1. If you wish to speak, please approach the microphones in the front of the room. Those speaking in support of the proposal, please assemble to the left of the stage. Those speaking in opposition to the proposal, please assemble to the right of the stage. Similarly to before, each speaker will be allowed 1 minute. Each side will be allowed a total of 10 minutes. We will begin with speakers in support of proposed amendment 2024-1. You may go ahead. Very good. If there's nobody who wishes to speak, it's hard for me to tell because there are a lot of people getting up and walking. So I'll pause a moment to see if those who are walking are trying to make their way to the microphone. Okay, once again, the motion on the floor is for approval. We will move to speakers in opposition. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Even though we agree with some of the amendments, however, there was some concerns with Part B and also the fact that the board is going to make the decision to remove a board member who was duly elected by the members, and we feel that that's not a good thing. If you're going to remove a board member, it has to go back to the members, except in certain really extreme cases, which I wish the resolution was just on those. But Part B is very concerning to us. So that's why we're opposing it. Thank you.
Thank you. There is still time remaining for anyone in opposition. Go ahead.
Ron Lynn, again, I'm in opposition because it seems pretty cavalier in the process. We vet our people who run for the board. Someone's got to bring to me, for me to support this, what the action is that is so drastic. Thank you. Otherwise, I would have gotten rid of Greg.
Thank you, Ron. Is there anyone in opposition? Seeing no more interest to speak, I will remind everybody that the motion on the floor at this time is for approval. In accordance with Section 18.2, proposed amendments to the bylaws may be amended on the floor. I will now open the floor to any proposed amendments to 2024-1 as written. If you wish to propose an amendment, please approach the microphone in the front of the room. Seeing no desire to propose an amendment, the motion that we will be acting upon is for approval as presented. Please bear with me. This is a new procedure for us. Okay. So once again, I will remind everybody that the proposal is to approve the proposed amendment as presented. We will begin voting. When the vote header on your voting device turns green, you will have 30 seconds to make your selection. You may now begin voting.
We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You're still the one that makes me strong. Still the one I want to take along. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. Yes, you are.
Thank you. The time for voting has concluded. May we see the results? As you can see, the membership here today has voted to approve the proposal. In accordance with Section 18.2 of the bylaws, proposed amendment 2024-1 will now be sent by ballot. Oh. Oh.
It has to be higher. Didn't receive 2/3. Didn't pass.
This is why I have legal support here. It was close, but it did not receive 2/3 vote. Therefore, the motion fails. Since the amendment did not receive the 2/3 majority vote of voting members present and voting, the amendment does not pass, and the bylaws will remain unchanged. That dispenses with the proposed resolutions and bylaws changes. So at this point, the next order of business is the report from the nominating committee, chaired by immediate past president Michael Witch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Serving with me on the nominating committee are Lisa Hartwig of Minnesota, Tom Peterson of Utah, Ron Takaguchi of California, and Guy Tomberlin of Virginia. This year's nominating committee process consisted of individual candidate interviews and a group exercise session, as well as candidates forum yesterday afternoon that provided the members the opportunity to directly engage with the candidates. Additionally, over the past few months, the committee has listened in on select regional and chapter candidate interviews to gain thorough insight into each candidate going into this year's annual conference. In accordance with Council Policy 20, factors considered in selecting nominees include service on the Code Council and industry boards and committees, jurisdictional support, support by Code Council chapters and other organizations, geographical location, education, registrations, licenses, and certifications, and active support of the Code Council's missions and goals. The committee recommends the following for election to the 2024-2025 Executive Committee. For the office of President, David Spencer. For the office of Vice President, Mike Boso. For the office of Secretary-Treasurer, Steve McDaniel. Per Council Policy 19, governing the conduct of elections, the nominations for the remaining board seats will be announced as follows. First, sectional seats in order of section, followed by director-at-large seats in alphabetical order of the last name of the candidates as nominated by the nominating committee, including any unexpired terms. The committee makes the following recommendations. For Section A Director for a 3-year term, Randy Metz. Section E Director for a 3-year term, Ben Bredmore. Section F Director for a 2-year term, J.C. Hutchinson. At-Large Director for a 3-year term, Christina Jackson. At-Large Director for a 3-year term, Sam Palmer. At-Large Director for a 3-year term, Jim Sayers. At-Large Director for a 2-year term, Sean Toomey. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Chair Witch, and members of the nominating committee for your work and service this year. So the next order of business is the election of officers and directors. Governmental member voting representatives and honorary members eligible to vote, please have your voting devices ready to vote for your 2024-2025 Board of Directors. In order to be elected, a candidate must receive a majority vote, 50% plus 1. Uncontested elections will be conducted today by a voice vote of eligible voters. If there are contested elections, eligible voters will use the voting devices. If no candidate receives a majority vote, a runoff election will be conducted between the 2 candidates receiving the most votes. We will now conduct the election of the officers. For the office of President, the committee nominates David Spencer. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect David Spencer as president. All those in favor signify by saying aye. If there are any opposed, same sign. There being no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Dave. I'll give David a moment to bask in this glory. Start the timer. Okay, Dave, that's enough. For the office of Vice President, the committee nominates Mike Boso. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect Mike Boso as Vice President. All those in favor signify by saying aye. If there are any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Mike. For the office of Secretary-Treasurer, the committee nominates Steve McDaniel. Are there any nominations from the floor? A nomination has been received by Jim Sayers. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Thank you. We have never done this before, so we have so many alternate scripts. So we have received a nomination from the floor for Mr. Jim Sayers. Candidates, please approach the microphones. As they're making their way, I will let everybody know. Each candidate and their supporters will be allowed a total of 5 minutes to address the membership. I'm going to suggest that Director McDaniels first. Why don't you take microphone 1 and any of your supporters? Director Sayers, why don't you take microphone 2 and any of your supporters who would like to speak? And if there are individuals who wish to speak on behalf of a candidate, please approach the microphones now. We'll give you a moment. Wow. There's a lot of movement out there. You know, they say when you snooze, you lose, and that may be the case here because there is a time limit, and I'll get to that. Okay. Mr. McDaniel, pay attention. Turn around. We will start with you. The floor is yours. You and your supporters have a total of 5 minutes, and I will cut you off at the end of 5 minutes. You may begin.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Steve McDaniel, building official out of New York. As you can see, there's a very large line here, so I'll be brief. They would like some time, and I guess I only have 5 minutes. So if you've had an opportunity to either get to know me personally or seen me speak or talk to me over the past few days, you'll realize that I truly care about you and the success of this organization, and I'll yield the rest of my time for my supporters.
Tom Allen, Central Florida Chapter, the Building Officials Association of Florida and Region 9, support Steve McDaniel and urge you to vote for him.
Walt Mueller, President of Ohio Building Officials Association. We support Steve 100%.
Sal Pinelli, President of New York State Building Officials for the state of New York, and we proudly endorse Steve McDaniels for Secretary Treasurer. He's done so much for the state of New York. Thank you, Steve.
My name is Tom McKinney. I am representing the New York State Code Council as part of my co-coordinator and fellow friend Steve. Probably supports and wishes your endorsement.
Bill McKinney, Chairman of ICC Region 6, also President of the New Hampshire Building Officials Association. Both chapters fully support Steve McDaniels.
Les Fugate, current president, Code Administrators Association of Kentucky. We support Steve McDaniels.
ICC Region 5 President, support Steve McDaniels for Region 5.
Pete Zvinglis, oh, Jesus. New England Building Officials Education Association President and Southeastern Connecticut Building Officials, and we support Steve McDaniel.
Ray Stedward, Connecticut Building Officials Association. We support Steve McDaniel. He supports us.
Ben McDougall, President of the Maine Building Officials. We support Steve McDaniel.
Paul Demers with the Northern Chapter of Maine Building Officials. We support Steve McDaniel.
Good afternoon, Raj Patel with the California Building Officials. California has its own process of vetting candidates as well through the interview process to identify the most qualified candidates. And we firmly believe that Steve McDaniel is the most qualified candidate for Secretary Treasurer, and he has our full support.
Tim Herlihy, New Hampshire has your support, Steve.
Kevin Foster, representing the Firefighters Association in the state of New York. We look forward to working with Steve. He's done a good job up to now.
Dan Sherman, President of Capital District Chapter of the New York State Building Officials, and we proudly support Steve McDaniel.
Mark Stumbach, immediate past President, Maine Building Officials, and we support Steve McDaniels.
Dakota Wharton, Grove City, Ohio, speaking on behalf of myself, support Steve McDaniels.
Nicholas Montan, Tuscarawas County, Ohio. I support Steve McDaniels. Thank you.
Joe Morelli, President with Southern California Fire Prevention Officers. We support Steve McDaniels.
Tim Spears, President of the Northern California Fire Prevention Officers Association, and Region 1, we support Steve McDaniel.
Sedonia Garrett, President of Maryland Building Officials Association, we support Steve McDaniels.
Alison Cook, speaking only on behalf of myself, I support Steve McDaniels.
Marty Mosley, speaking on behalf of the Southern Tier Building Officials Association, we support Steve McDaniel.
Greg Gilbert, Maine State Building Official, speaking on behalf of myself in support of Steve McDaniel.
Jim William with the Association of Minnesota Building Officials, we support Steve Daniels. Ashley Delgado, Region 7 President. We accept the nominating committee results, so we support Steve McDaniels.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Oh, we support him anyway.
Director Sayers, the floor is now yours. You and your supporters have a total of 5 minutes. And as you saw, I will cut you off.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, my name is Jim Sayers. I'm the building official for the City of Oregon City, Oregon. Served on the ICC board now for 6 years. I put a lot of thought into this. It's a gut-wrenching thing to go through. Put a lot of time into running for Secretary Treasurer. For the best of the organization and the members and our ICC board, I am respectfully refusing my nomination, and I would ask that my supporters put their support behind Steve McDaniel. Steve is a good friend. Steve and I respect each other. We've worked on the board together since 2018. I know he will do a great job. And as I have been nominated for a director-at-large seat that I now hold, I would ask that you support me as should anyone run against me. And I thank you, and I thank all of you folks that have stood in line for me. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
As you have heard, while he was nominated from the floor for consideration for the Secretary-Treasurer seat, Director Sayers has declined the nomination. So therefore, we only have one person nominated for that executive committee seat. We will handle it by voice affirmation vote. All those in favor of Steve McDaniel for the Secretary-Treasurer seat signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. The majority being in favor, so be the order. Congratulations. We will now conduct the election of the directors. There are 6 director positions up for election today, 3 sectional directors and 4 at-large director seats. The bylaws require that no more than 2 governmental member voting representatives designated by governmental members located in the same state may serve simultaneously on the board of directors. In the event an individual is elected today who represents the same state as another individual already sitting on the board, any other individual representing the state will no longer be eligible to run for any open seat. Candidates for sectional directors must represent a governmental member located in the state or province within that section. The first election is for Section A director for a 3-year term. Section A includes the states of Alaska, British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Hawaii. The committee nominates Randy Metz. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nomination for Section A closed. We will now vote to elect Randy Metz as director for Section A. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Director Metz. The second election is for Section E director for a 3-year term. Section E includes the states of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland. For that section, the committee nominates Ben Bredmore. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect Ben Bredmore as director of Section E. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Ben. The third election is for Section F director for a 2-year term. Section F includes the states of Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and the Caribbean. The committee nominates J.C. Hutchison. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect J.C. Hutchison as the director for Section F. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Wow. Any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Stacy. The fourth election is for at-large director for a 3-year term. The committee nominates Christina Jackson. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect Christina Jackson as the 4th director. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Wow. Any opposed, same sign. Hearing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Christina. The 5th election is for at-large director for a 3-year term. The committee nominates Sam Palmer. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Oh, someone is approaching the mic.
Nominate Shirley Ellis.
There's a nomination for Shirley Ellis for an at-large director seat for a 3-year term. Is there a second? There's a motion.
I second.
There's a second. There's a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations from the floor? I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote for the 5th director seat. Will the candidates please approach the microphones? And once again, each candidate and their supporters will be allowed a total of 5 minutes to address the membership. Why don't we have Sam Palmer and all of your supporters in front of microphone 1? Why don't we have Shirley Ellis and all of your supporters at microphone 2? I will give you a moment to shuffle around the room. No need to hurry. As I mentioned, if there are individuals who wish to speak on behalf of a candidate, please approach the appropriate microphone.
I can't reach it. Okay.
There's still a lot of movement, so I'll give you a few more moments. And as people are speaking, if you are so inclined, you may join the queue. Mr. Palmer, the floor is yours. You and your supporters have a total of 5 minutes. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Sam Palmer from Las Vegas/Clark County, Nevada. I've been a dedicated code official for the past 30-plus years. I've been very versed in the ICC world for that 30-plus years, and currently I'm the Major Jurisdictions Chairperson, and I'm also the IAS current Chairman of the Board. I truly believe in the mission of ICC, and I look forward to serving in that continued capacity as a code official for you. I'll let my supporters talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've known Sam for 100 years. I hired Sam. He is not only technically extremely competent, but he will be a tremendous asset to ICC in many areas.
Good morning. My name is Al Ellis, representing the Southern Nevada chapter of ICC and EduCode. Go EduCode. If you want to
director that's honest and has a lot of integrity. Sam Palmer is the man.
Hello, my name's Linda Gallant. I'm the current chapter president for the Southern Nevada Chapter ICC. I've personally known Sam's for about 28 years. I know he has 30 years in the industry. He brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record of leadership, honesty, and integrity. He's one of the most dedicated people I know, and he's going to be an invaluable addition to the board. We respectfully request vote for Sam.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Guerin. I'm the incoming president for Region 1. We support Sam Palmer. I'm also the director of the Clark County Building Department. I've worked with Sam I have worked with him when he was with us for the past 10 years. Sam is a true consensus builder. He will always look out for the membership. I strongly endorse Sam Palmer for the director at large.
Hi, Terry Kozlowski, past president of SNICC, plans exam manager for Clark County. Sam is a common sense leader. I support Sam.
Jim William at the Association of Minnesota Building Officials. I've had the luxury of working with Sam on numerous different committees, and I will tell you, hands down, he's one of the best people out there, and I can't say enough about him. Thanks.
Tim Spears, president of Northern California Fire Prevention Officers Association, and we support Sam Palmer.
Joe Morelli, president of the Southern California Fire Prevention Officers, and we support Sam Palmer.
Sam Steele, City of Seattle. I've been a co-chair with Sam with the major jurisdictions, and he's a great form of leadership. Will bring a great deal of help to the.
Hello, everybody. Matt Brewer, past president, Southern Nevada Chapter ICC. I've worked with Sam for a long time. He's a great person, great friend. I urge support for Sam Palmer.
Ray Cockrum, current president of Washington Association of Building Officials. We support Sam. Thank you.
Shannon McEwen with SNICC and manager of building permits for Clark County. I strongly support Sam Palmer. He's a great person. I've worked directly for him and he's become a personal friend. He represents good things.
Tom Allen, representing the Central Florida chapter, the Building Officials Association of Florida and Region 9, and we support Sam Palmer. We believe his leadership skills will assist the board in moving forward.
Neville Pereira, immediate past president of the County Building Officials Association of California. I've happened to know Sam for the last 10 years. He represents integrity and will do ICC really well.
Ted Zook, representing Region 2, Vice President, and we support Sam. We've known him for quite a while, and he's the best candidate.
Bill McKinney, Chairman, ICC Region 6, also President of New Hampshire Building Officials Association. Both chapters support Sam.
Hi, Jeff Chains, President, California Building Officials Association, and we support Sam.
Ben McDougall, Chapter President of the Maine Building Officials. We support Sam Palmer.
That's it. Time. Thank you. Shirley, at this time, I will allow you and your supporters a total of 5 minutes. You may proceed.
I'm Shirley Ellis, and I'm the building official for Gonzales, Texas. And I've been serving on the board for I've been serving in this industry 42 years and currently on the board for 8. And I'm going to yield the rest of my time to my supporting team.
My name is Carl Wren. I'm the fire protection engineer for Georgetown, Texas Fire Department and retired fire protection engineer and building official for the city of Austin. Known Shirley for over 40 years, and like she said, she's been on the board 8 years, got a lot of experience, high level of integrity, I trust her, and I think that she'd make a great addition to the board, and additional service to the council is a good thing for us.
Good afternoon, President, Board, ICC members. My name is Carrie Frazier. I'm from the town of Prosper. Shirley has always been a positive role model. She has been a mentor not only to myself, but to many others. Shirley has supported and shares her knowledge to the chapters and has helped us progress with our growth. She volunteers and provides her time at education opportunities, and is our #1 cheerleader. The Texas Permit Tech Association, the North Texas Association of ICC, and the Women in Code Enforcement and Development of Texas all support Shirley. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Imad Eldaroubi. I'm the CEO of iGroup Jordan. I'm the former president of the World Organization of Building Officials and also the former chairman of the Arizona Building Official. I'm here representing myself and in support of my good friend, Sherry Alice.
Irene Knott, BRR Architecture. I first met Shirley in 2007 in Rochester when Women in Code Enforcement and Development held their very first organizational meeting. Shirley has become a very dear friend of mine as a result of that meeting, which, by the way, we celebrated our 10th day of service on Saturday. Thanks for everybody who came to help give back to the communities in which we have our conference. Our middle name is Code. For those of you that are here for the entire duration of the Code hearings, Shirley is about the only director that stays for the entire duration. She is committed to this organization and will serve the membership to the best of her ability. Thank you.
David Biles, City of Lenexa, Kansas, past president of Region 4 and Metro Chapter of Kansas City. Speaking on my behalf, Shirley has shown support for our chapters on attending virtual meetings and also with personal visits to our chapters. Thank you. I support Ellis.
David Pendley, City of Euless, Texas. I've known Shirley for 101 years, Ron. Anyhow, Shirley's probably one of the most approachable board members, and I strongly support her. Thank you.
My name is Celso Mata. I'm the building official for the city of Plano, Texas, and a past president of Building Officials Association of Texas. I've known Shirley for over 10 years. She's dedicated, she's passionate. When it comes time to teach a code class, we call Shirley. Something on energy, we got all our questions answered. She helps us out in a lot of ways, and I know she's gone around different jurisdictions and chapters, and she's visited you. 30 years with the Code ICC doing what it's done up to this point and celebrating that. It's wonderful. And the board of directors is in charge of all that. In the past 8 years, Shirley has been a board of director. This stuff doesn't just fall out of the skies, as they say. People have to work on it. Board of directors has to have a vision. You have to follow through. You have to do a lot of things and work to keep things going forward. Shirley's been a part of that. We need to recognize that. And I urge you to vote for Shirley.
I'm James Stewart, building official with the City of Webster, Texas, former board member and officer with the Building Officials Association of Texas. I'd like to recommend Shirley for this election.
Good afternoon. My name is David Session. I'm the assistant.
Thank you. That's time.
Support Shirley. Thank you.
People who know me know I will cut you off. Okay, with that, we will now be conducting the election. Under consideration are Mr. Sam Palmer and Ms. Shirley Ellis for an at-large director seat for a 3-year term. When the vote header on your voting device turns green, you will have 30 seconds to make your decision. You may now vote. Voting is now closed. May we see the results? Congratulations, Sam. The sixth election is for the at-large director for a 3-year term. The committee nominates Jim Sayers for a 3-year term. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Seeing no further nominations, I declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect Jim Sayers as an at-large director for a 3-year term. All those in favor signify by saying aye. If there are any opposed, same sign. Seeing no opposition, so be the order. Congratulations, Jim. The final election today is for at-large director for a 2-year term. The committee nominates Sean Toomey for a 2-year term. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? Hearing no nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. We will now vote to elect Sean Toomey as the final director. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, same sign. There being no opposition, so be the order. Sean, congratulations. That finally concludes the board elections. Congratulations to the new officers and directors, and thanks to all the candidates for your commitment to the Code Council. Now, before we adjourn for the day, I do have a few important announcements. There will be boxed lunches available outside the Insight session rooms. Code Council leaders and building safety industry experts will be hosting Insight sessions for CEUs starting at 12:45 p.m. These sessions, that worked. These sessions will help you keep up with ever-changing hot topics in the industry. Dominic and I will be leading a session on the founding of the Code Council and the development of the I-codes, joined by some of the people who know the Code Council best, the past presiding officers. The session descriptions and locations can be found on our website and the annual conference app. I encourage all of you to take advantage of our new career zone in the Expo Hall. It includes a resume clinic, a job center to explore career advancement opportunities, and a free professional headshot cafe where photographers will be taking photos until 7 p.m. tonight. Please join us this afternoon for our Expo Talks from 2:30 until 5 p.m. in Hall AB, where you'll have an opportunity to learn the latest and greatest in building safety technology in quick-hit 30-minute presentations. We will also once again be hosting the Bridge Building Challenge to see who can build the best functioning bridge with the most creativity. And tomorrow, join us from 8 until 10 a.m. for ICC Talks, which will feature a keynote speech from Victoria Arlen, ESPN host, author, and Paralympic gold medalist, followed by a panel discussion regarding off-site construction. We will be hosting various educational sessions throughout the day, starting at 10:15 a.m. Each class will offer CEUs and range from topics such as adaptive reuse of existing buildings to significant changes of the 2024 I-codes. And join us tomorrow for the awards luncheon in this room at noon to honor some remarkable building safety professionals. Finally, is there any unfinished business? Mr. Shapiro.
Yes, Mr. President. I'm Steve Shapiro, past president of ICC, and I rise to discuss CP 22, which was recently amended. And for those in the room who may not know what that is, that's the council policy on past presiding officers. The board, in December of this year, amended that to now include all past directors of ICC since 2003 who have served a 3-year term and who left in good standing. So myself and a number of the other past presiding officers that are here today that hopefully soon will be standing behind me have a couple questions of you and the board. First, we'd like to know why you decided to amend this policy. Secondly, it was done in executive session in December. And to my knowledge, when I was ICC president and all the other presidents I've talked to, a council policy was never amended in executive session where no one could provide input. Thirdly, we'd like to know why no one spoke to the existing council of past presiding officers to tell us you were thinking about doing this, get our feedback, work together with you. None of that occurred. So what I'm asking today is for President-elect Spencer and the new board to re-examine this issue. We feel that there is probably a role for the past directors to take on projects that the board may give them. But we also feel that the past presiding officers, which are past presiding officers of the legacy groups, as well as ICC itself, offer a unique perspective that can help the current president because we've led an organization of this size. So we'd be happy to work with you. We stand ready to work with you. We hope that you'll reconsider. You know, a possible outcome could be a council of past directors as well as the council of past presiding officers. We have a lot of experience. Many of the people behind me, including myself, were here in 2003. So we've been around, we love ICC, we've devoted ourselves, and what's happened here is, by the action the board took, you've alienated a number of people that have a lot of experience and want to continue to work with ICC. So I'd like to hear the response to our questions, if you would.
Thank you, Steve. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I only rise to raise one point today, and that being the past presiding officers have provided service to this organization throughout its continued history. These officers have dedicated their lives to what goes on in ICC. And as you can tell, many of us who are retired are still willing to assist. We do things, for example, like the golf outing, which raises money for continuing education. Not to say that others can't assist us, but this group of hardcore past presiding officers have given this organization their time, talent, and effort to make sure that you get that input that has been from the top of the leadership of this organization. And when I say the top, the presidents of the organization. And as you know, as you served this year, your top priority was to lead this organization in a way that it prospered. And we continue to carry that on. And we'd like to know why it hasn't been sustained.
Thank you, Henry. Bill.
Nope, it's all been said. I don't need to say any more than what's been said.
Thank you, Bill. Cindy? Thank you. Dwayne?
We just would like an answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Dwayne. Jimmy?
Same here. Two questions. Why and why an executive session? We need an answer.
Thanks. Greg? You're good? Okay. With that, as pointed out with the opening statement from you, Steve, nothing is set in stone. Things can be reconsidered. They can be upheld and so forth. As you mentioned, your request is actually to see to it that our incoming president, Mr. Spencer, create an opportunity for a further look at this. I will not speak for Mr. Spencer, but I will tell you this. He takes copious notes. So with that, we'll get back to you. Thank you.
And we're all, like I said, we stand ready to work with you all to come up with a solution to this that works for everyone. But at this point, you've alienated a bunch of us. So we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Is there any further business? Seeing no one approach the mics, that completes our agenda. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the 2024 annual business meeting. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. On behalf of the Board of Directors, thank you for attending this annual business meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you all.